Alright guys, welcome to Tucked In Wizards. We're back after a long off season. My name is Aidan and I'm here with Ben.
Welcome back, guys. It was a long but kind of fun off season. I will say the Wizards probably got a little worse, but I guess that's just what happens when you're in the rebuild phase. So
yeah, this is the big development year. This is where we're going to be playing all the young guys, heavy minutes. We're going to see actual results on the court, hopefully. Going to trade some of these vets. Got a lot of hopes for the season from the development side.
yeah, do you want to kind of go through what we'll be going through? This is the season preview, so the season starts in like a few hours. So we're getting this to you. They open against the Celtics at home. Pretty much a guaranteed loss, but you never know. It's a new season, new Wizards.
Yep, so we're pretty much just going to be going over their roster today. Main things we're talking about is just kind of like rotations, who's going to be in those rotations, who's going to be kind of the odd man out. Just going to be talking about what we expect out of some of these players this season, and then just do a couple predictions for what we expect for their first couple games. Spoiler, not good. And then we're going to have a nice little thing at the end where we're each going to give who we think is going to have a breakout season and who we think is going to have a bad season. We're just going to label them a bust arbitrarily. So yeah, excited to get into it.
And then we'll also do some trade block guys we kind of want to go after. Should I just read off the roster? We'll just go right into what we think the depth chart will be.
Yeah,
because this is a brand new roster, brand new for all the new Wizards. We got Corey Kispert is obviously coming back. Malcolm Brogdon, who's going to miss the first month with an injury, but he's on the roster.
Yeah.
Johnny Davis, of course. Patrick Baldwin, Marvin Bagley, Jordan Poole, Koulibaly is back from his injury. We got Kuz, Rashawn Holmes, Vuk on a two-way, and Jared Butler on a two-way. Then we got Bub Carrington, the rookie out of Pitt. Jonas Valanciunas, Keyshawn George, another rookie out of Miami. Alex Sarr, Sadiq Bey, who will also miss the first couple months of the season, and then Anthony Gill. Am I missing any two-ways? Is Julian Champagnie on a two-way?
Yeah, I think Julian Champagnie's still on a two-way, because we were cutting him, Vuk, or
Ray J. Davis.
a weird guy. The guy I just can't remember.
Yeah. So, what do we think the starting lineup's going to be? Obviously, no Brogdon, so we got Jordan Poole at point.
Yeah, definitely Jordan Poole starting.
I'm guessing Kispert's getting in there. He just got his nice contract extension right under the deadline. Speaking of contract extensions, that video of Gobert running to the locker room was really funny.
That was really funny.
Was like,
sign it during the game.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Amazing.
I think it doesn't matter who plays who. We're gonna see Kispert and Bilal at the 2 and 3. I feel like.
Yeah.
Like Bilal
you think
might play
starting?
2, Kispert might play 3. Yes.
Yep.
Starting for sure. That's what I see. Like I don't really see that many other. Like we're not starting Johnny Davis.
No, there's not a lot of good players.
Patrick Baldwin. No, there's not. You kind of have to start Bilal and Kispert because they're like the only ones you can. They're good enough.
So we got Poole, Kispert, Koulibaly, and then Sarr. I don't know because you'll have Kuzma's getting in there. So
true.
It's
Maybe
probably Poole
Kispert off the bench.
Kispert has been coming off the bench, so that would make sense. You get Poole, Koulibaly, Kuz, Sarr, Val.
Yeah. I think that's probably good. It's going to be, in my opinion, one of Kispert or Sarr coming off the bench to start. I kind of see us trading Kispert in a little bit, so I don't know if that's going to be too. We'll get into that later, but I don't know if that's going to be for too long. But we kind of have 6 players we want to start, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I really think they should start Bilal and Sarr.
I think so too.
It's such a development year,
and
we've
defense.
been hearing that Bilal has had such a good offseason that I think they're going to want to.
Absolutely, and the defense. I mean, you have the two creators, quote unquote, with Poole and Kuz, and then you surrounding them with this defensive presence and these defensive young guys in Koulibaly and Sarr, and then you have Val there. Obviously, he's kind of a placeholder center for right now, but we'll see some nice little hook shots out of him.
Yeah, and it gives us some versatility. We're we're going to really be relying on shooting this game. Let's start Kispert this game so he can have a lot of offense.
Yeah.
And, Bilal's a good shooter too, so having him in the starting lineup is going to have a nice mix of defensive shooting.
Yeah. And unfortunately, we are relying on the creation of Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma, which is why the offense will probably not be that good. But it's still a creator to surround these young guys with, which is nice to have.
Although I did see yesterday the new Washington Post reporter for the Wizards did a little AMA on the Reddit, and I did see he had a thing where he was talking about how their offense is a lot more egalitarian than he was expecting coming in. So it's like, and Kuz has described it as kind of like a weird, unique offense where like nobody's really initiating the plays. It's just kind of like flowing.
That sounds
like that's what they're
really
going
bad,
for.
but
it sounds awful. But I mean, like, it's kind of what I want, because I don't want Kuzma fucking handling the ball all the time. Like, I want these young guys to get reps, and that's probably why that looks like that. Yeah. I mean, if they can get it right, that kind of sounds nice, because it's like you can change it up how you want. You can really play on the fly and adapt really well, and like they're gonna push the pace and fly. So it's like, if you can make quick decisions like that, it just helps you out instead of just passing to Poole, dribble, pass or shoot. You know.
Yeah, and we will see. We will hopefully see that. I mean, that's what Jordan Poole played with. Is kind of similar to the Warriors system, obviously, with much worse players. But something Poole is definitely used to doing, and he has done in the past. And Kuzma has been kind of doing that his whole Washington career. And yeah, I know what you're saying, because it was hard, because we watched the Suns-Clippers game last night, and it was hard seeing the Suns offense. They won the game, of course, but it was hard seeing the Suns offense in the clutch, and you could see why they were one of the worst clutch offenses last year, because it was like, all right, Kevin Durant goes, he does his ISO, okay, now it's Bradley Beal's turn, and it was very like predictable. So it'd be nice getting early this Wizards kind of free-flowing offense and see what can develop with it.
For sure. And I have we're playing in a fantasy basketball league. We do it every year. This year I have Tyus Jones, because he's starting for the Suns. So I was the whole game in overtime and everything. I was just watching him get the ball, pick and roll with Nurkic, and then not get the ball for the rest of the possession. It's Booker, KD ISOing. It was so annoying.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, he got him in to be your starting point guard. Let him have the
Let
ball.
him cook.
Play off ball.
Let him cook.
I just looked real quick at what ESPN predicts our depth chart to be. They are predicting the Poole, Bilal, Kuz, Sar, Val.
I think that makes the most
sense.
What we're going for.
I think so too.
Kispert's been great off the bench last year. He came off the bench last year. We'll probably also see. I mean, we'll see Bub off the bench, of course, and we'll see Keyshawn off the bench. So that's an 8-man rotation right there. Yep. And then I don't know, who do you think the last two is? I mean, we'll probably see one of Holmes or Bagley, if not both. And if it's not either of them,
I'm gonna
we'll see
Bagley.
Johnny Davis play. I'm guessing.
They like Bagley usually over Holmes. I feel like
he's a little
Holmes
younger.
will sometimes come in for like 5 or 6 minutes to like, you know, give a little backup for Bagley. But I think they're still trying to see if there's anything there with Bagley. You know.
I agree.
And I think we will see JD, but I think it's going to be like 7 minutes.
He's going to be at the end of the rotation for sure. I don't think he's going to be cut from the rotation, at least not until Brogdon comes back. Once Brogdon comes back, Davis will be cut from the rotation, unless he's been amazing. But
what's really funny about this ESPN rotation is this: they don't have Keyshawn George. They're like, oh, he's not getting minutes.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm pretty sure Keyshawn George is going to get minutes. He was good in the preseason too.
Yeah, for sure. He was really good in the preseason. I was really impressed. Like, he knew his role perfectly. He's like, I'm here to shoot, I'm here to defend, and like sometimes I'll shoot a floater to keep them on their toes, but like I'm just gonna do what I do.
Yeah, and I hope we'll continue to see that from him. What do you kind of expect from these rookies? I know we kind of talked about the rookies a lot during the off season, but now that we got to see them, we saw them in summer league and we saw them during the preseason. What are your expectations?
It's been interesting seeing them through preseason. I'm actually a lot higher on Keyshawn George after preseason than I was in the summer league. I didn't think he'd be able to contribute immediately, but I've kind of changed my mind on that. I thought he'd spend a lot more time in the G League than I anticipate he actually will. I'm really happy with what I saw from Sar during the preseason, especially after that atrocious summer league. It's like, it really looked like he just kind of realized, like, okay, I just need to get a good handle of what I just need to be doing out here, and like now he's kind of everywhere on defense. He's kind of figured out what everyone else is going to do so he can stay where he wants to be. He actually had some really good offensive plays. He was shooting really well. So I was very impressed with Sar. I think it's going to be a very tough year for him still. It's going to be definitely a big learning process for him, but it's not going to be as rough as I maybe was thinking immediately after summer league. He looks like he can actually stay on the floor a bit, even just because of his defense. Obviously, we'll see how that changes when he's matched up against like Kevin Durant versus these preseason guys. But I think it's going to be a really good year for him development-wise. Like, I think we're going to see a lot of change in him towards the end of the season versus the beginning. I mean, I would hope so, but I think this gonna be a very valuable year for him to really figure out like how can I contribute on an NBA floor.
Yeah.
And then I just love everything Bub does and is about. So I'm high on Bub for sure, but I've always been high on Bub.
Yeah, me too. And yeah, with Sarr, it's kind of like we drafted him with the intention of defense and that the offense will develop. So I guess seeing steps in that offensive game would be ideal. But as long as the defense is as advertised, and I have to say, playing beside Jonas Valanciunas has really opened his game up a lot, and you can see that in the preseason compared to Summer League, where he wasn't playing with that big center. So it might be, honestly, if Sarr does look a lot better with Val on the floor than is off, it's going to be a tough pill to swallow to actually end up trading Valanciunas, because he is under contract for 3 years. But it might be something that they are still considering. Bub, I'm obviously super high on, but like with all guards, he probably will have a rough year efficiency-wise. Don't panic if he does. I still think he'll be very good. He's already got the creation chops. And Keyshawn George, like you said, 3-and-D guy, it looks like he will contribute right away, which is good for him.
Even if he's in the third string, it looks like he can play. That's important.
And he will be in the rotation, almost definitely, at least from the opening jib. With the 2 stars, Kuzma and Poole, I want to see more playmaking out of both of them. Poole has already started to make that step at the end of the last season, where his playmaking did actually look pretty good. Kuzma, man, I don't quite know yet. But
I have a very simple request that I want out of Poole. I want Poole to stop taking those dumbass heat shots that he does. Every time he makes one shot, he takes a long
No, I like those because they're hilarious.
They are really funny, but it's like, it frustrates me so much because it's like, just play smart. Don't just jack up shots because you saw Steph Curry do it. He can do it.
Yeah. He is.
But yeah, I agree. Kuz is going to have to get off a little of scoring this year and like focus more on playmaking. I don't know if he can do that. I personally believe he's going to get traded at some point this season.
I think a deadline trade is coming.
See. Yeah, it kind of feels like it.
It's just almost
for him and Kispert, honestly.
Yeah, I think Kuz more likely than Kispert. I could see them keeping Kispert a little bit longer, but Kuz he's obviously really good, but he also kind of feels like the odd man out. But in like terms of the wing rotation, but I mean he's also a great veteran leader, and all the guys have like kind of looked up to him in the locker room. So. Again, it's kind of hard to trade someone like that, but we'll see if I'm sure Brogdon will, pick up that slack. And you have Valanciunas. They got a lot of good vets on the team this year. Anthony Gill.
I think Kispert I think he might be even more likely than Kuz to go.
Really?
Just because he's on a way more tradable contract, and it's easier to just slot him into a team than Kuz. Kuz needs he doesn't need a good position necessarily, but he just makes a lot of money and he's going to want the ball a lot. So
my argument for Kuz
is be in a good spot.
Is he's done it before. Like he is a champion and he has been in that 3rd, 4th option, which I think will make teams a little bit more attractive, or him a little bit more attractive to teams despite the money. And I'm sure a team has a bad contract.
I totally agree, and I think that Kuz is highly underrated among the NBA landscape, but I just think Kispert is going to be more palatable to a lot of these guys. Like, I could see him going to so many different teams, where Kuz, there's only a few spots that I could really see him working in. But I don't think it's crazy that they both get traded, or just one over the other, or neither. It's kind of up in the air right now. We could just keep him. We don't have to trade him.
The crazy thing about
this
team...
just signed Kispert to a great contract.
Yeah, exactly. He's a tradable asset, but he's also a good player. So there's no harm in keeping him as well. It's kind of funny how everyone's on the trade block except probably Koulibaly and Sarr and I guess Bub. I would even say Keyshawn George could be traded if the right deal comes around. But
I don't know. I just think
it's hard to trade a rookie. Nobody trades rookies, but
late first round rookie.
The right trade isn't going to come along. But
no.
You want to talk about trade targets? No, go ahead.
I would talk about it. I was just going to say, even then, I think they might just say no, because it's maybe he develops really well and he's the perfect piece. They kind of know what they want with him.
Yeah.
But it's kind of early to get too attached to any of these guys. Maybe only 3 of these guys are on the actual roster when we're good, But talking about trade targets, I had an interesting one, which obviously, I mean, I don't think any of these are really that realistic.
I have two.
But
One of them realistic, one of them is a dream. But
I wanted to come up with a Kuz trade. I was thinking, what if somehow we ship Kuz over to Atlanta and get Dyson Daniels back? That is something that I was interested in. But it's like, I don't really know how that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, do they really need him? They already have Jalen Johnson. Like, it's kind of a tough position, but I just think Dyson Daniels is one of those guys that I think is super underrated in the league. And I think he has a really good future ahead of him. So if we could get a hold of him, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I like Dyson Daniels a lot.
I'm not saying that's even possible because I don't think it is.
Yeah, it'll be tough for Atlanta to make that deal, but it's a good shout. My unrealistic guy that was weirdly kind of realistic for a little bit of last season was Jaden Ivey. I feel like the Wizards need a little bit of guard depth, especially like young guards. Like you got Poole and Bub, but I mean, after that it's a little rough. And even Poole, I know a lot of people wouldn't really classify him as part of their young core. So getting Jaden Ivey in there would be great. Of course, at this point, probably not going to happen unless he really takes a step back in the Pistons offense, which I don't see happening. More realistic targets, I could see a Kispert trade to the Thunder. I know they got a couple guards like Cason Wallace, Aaron Wiggins that could be good fits. The Rockets have a plethora of young talent. Tari Eason maybe could be on the move, someone like that.
I was looking at Tari.
So those are my kind of three guys that I really are looking out for. But we'll see. I don't know how realistic Tari Eason is, but a guy like Aaron Wiggins or Cason Wallace could be realistic in a Kispert Kuzma trade.
Yeah. All right, hear me out on this one though. Hear me out on this one. we send Kuzma to Chicago. They're trying to win now.
Chicago Best not trying to win now.
No, they are. They said we're trying to win now. Get back Patrick Williams and Kobe White. They'd definitely be willing to do that. I do think they would be willing to trade Patrick Williams because they kind of gave up on him. But not Kobe White.
I think Kenny might be on. Like, we need to check on him if they give up Patrick Williams and Kobe White for Kuzma.
Yeah, that would be.
Patrick Williams, though, like, maybe.
Made good decisions. Yeah, that was the more realistic.
If he like comes out and he's not that good this year, but then again, if he's not that good, why would you want to trade him?
Yeah, I mean he wasn't that good last year, so. But you know, Chicago won game one. They're trying to win.
No, they got blown out in game one.
Oh, they got blown out. Oh yeah, no, you're right.
It's just ESPN messed it up and had the wrong score. It was doing that all yesterday.
Dude, ESPN was fucking it up so hard. It's so annoying.
Yeah, some really good games though last night. We saw the Nets actually look decent against Atlanta.
Yeah.
Jazz and Grizzlies.
I don't know how much stock I put into that. That was a fun game, Jazz and Grizzlies.
Hornets came back on the Rockets.
Yep. And that OT game, Suns
Clippers.
The Suns game was really good. That was a really fun game.
And we're gonna have some more good games tonight. We got
Clippers,
of course. Wait, what'd you say about the Clippers?
I said they look kind of shit with just James Harden. Like, it's literally just James Harden. It's James Harden and Zubac. That's like the whole thing.
Yeah,
Zubac and they both went off last night and they still lost.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
It's definitely rough for them. Some bangers tonight. Celtics Wizards, of course, be over by the time the next game starts. Spurs Mavs, Wolves Kings, Thunder Nuggets. So, honestly, 3 really good games and then 1 game to start.
Yes, exactly. And it's a good game for us because we're Wizards fans.
Exactly.
We want to watch the Wizards. So it's 4 good games for Wizards fans, 3 good games
for everyone else.
And I mean, sorry, I should say 4 good games for the masochistic Wizards fans that want to see their team get destroyed by 60 points.
But hey, the Celtics, they shot really well, so maybe they won't shoot well today.
Nah, but they tanked their field goal percentage at the end to make up for it. So
I know.
They were smart.
They were smart.
Thunder Nuggets is my game of the day.
For sure.
That's going to be such a fun game. But I am really interested in Wemby. I think I'm going to watch a lot of Spurs games this year just because he's so dominant, and I think it's going to be really fun watching him with Chris Paul. And then I didn't like watching the Wolves that much the first game. But I like the Kings, so I'm interested in seeing what they can do.
I will say with the Wolves,
I really hate that Wolves trade. I hate it.
That Wolves game we watched opening day, where they before the game, if anyone watched it, they were like, Julius Randle's really like looking to play make this game, and then he like did that for about 4 possessions and then went back to just ISOing. It was really funny.
Hey, he had a team high 4 assists.
I know. It was pretty good.
But no,
when Bronny checked in and he just went right at him, that was... Welcome to the NBA, Bronny.
I hope we get to see some more Bronny. It was kind of funny just seeing him. It was really funny seeing LeBron desperately try and get him a basket. Like, jack up a terrible shot so he could get a rebound.
They wanted the Bronny assist so bad. They almost got it. He almost got it.
Yeah, that three was the one. He needed to hit that open 3, and he didn't.
All right, you want to do some predictions for the next 2 games for the Wizards, I guess, and then we'll do a breakout guy and bust, and then we'll close it. Predictions. I'll start. 0-2 combined, probably minus 60.
Yeah.
But I think Poole will have a good game in one of them, maybe in the Cavs game. And hopefully Sarr will get a couple of nice blocks.
I need Poole to have 2 stinkers to start the season.
Yeah, I have Jordan Poole.
I'm playing Ben in fantasy and he has Jordan Poole, so I need him to go bad.
And Corey Kispert.
Oh, yeah. But we'll see. There's no way they win the Celtics game. I think they could. There's like a world they possibly win the Cavs game, but it's very unlikely. I give them like a 5% chance or something, you know?
Like, the Cavs like destroyed them last year in every game they played. Like, I don't think any of the games were close, and I'm kind of expecting more of the same.
Yeah, me too. But I'm comparing them to the early season Celtics. With the psycho Joe Mazzulla that's going to be like, you have to play like it's the playoffs. You have to play like it's the finals. That dude's a fucking... I love
developers.
I saw him after game 1. They were like, so how did what was it? Like, what was
how'd the floor taste?
What did the court feel like today? Yeah, how did the floor taste today? Like, how did the floor feel? And he was like, blood. Dude, come on. Such an edgy response. He's so edgy.
He's so edgy.
And they were like, do you feel like there's a lot of pressure this year? And he's like, well, we're all going to be dead soon, so there's no real pressure.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It's like, dude, what?
He just says stuff. But hey, he's an NBA champion.
I love
so
him.
You can't really argue
he's a
with
great
it, I
coach.
guess.
He's one of those coaches that might have been too crazy to get a job. Besides, like, the weird factors that gave him a job.
Yeah.
And now that he has a job, he's, like, an amazing head coach.
Yeah, like, you go into the interview and say some weird shit, and then they'd be like, yeah, we don't want this guy being our coach.
Yeah, they'd be like, so how are you going to prepare our team? And he's like, well, I'm going to get choked out by a jiu-jitsu master for 2 months before the playoffs. And they're like, what?
Okay.
No, we're not hiring you.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
All right, before we take Gafford out, let's do our booms and busts for...
yeah.
I guess the season. Well, we should do this like every week, but for the season we'll start, and then for the next we'll do it for like the next week. On the Wizards.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah, we should do it for like the next upcoming games. But yeah, just for overall in the season, my boom is Bilal Coulibaly. I think he's gonna have a crazy season. He looked really good last year in spurts, but he had like kind of some. His defense always looked good, but his offense kind of took some like dips and dives. But I think he's really going to get it figured out. I think this is going to be a really good year. I think he's going to have an increased opportunity. I think he's going to have an increased minutes load. I think this is going to be the year where we start really priming him to be our next guy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to give your boom, and then we'll both do busts?
I have 2. One of them's a little bit smaller, though. My main boom is going to be Jordan Poole. I think he had a really bad year last year, and he kind of started to figure it out at the end of last year, and I think he's gonna figure it out going into this year. And then on a smaller scale, I think Johnny Davis will actually earn rotation minutes.
Okay, hot take. And then my bust, my doom, is probably gonna be.
It's hard. You want me to
it's tough. Yeah. Why don't you go ahead? Because it's tough. Because I was looking and it's like there's a lot of bad players, but it's not like it's that crazy. Like we know that.
Yeah, we know they're bad.
A crazy year, you know.
I think my doom, and it's not really a doom. It's just more like, oh, he's a rookie. He's not gonna be what we all expect from Bob Carrington. I think he's gonna be okay. I think he's gonna have the efficiency problems, and I don't think people should be upset about that. I mean, he's a rookie. He's gonna figure it out. But that's my doom.
Okay. I have 2 dooms now that I've thought. And one is on the court, one's off the court. My on the court doom is I think this is the year that Johnny Davis gets cut.
We have different perspectives.
It's not even different perspectives on Johnny. It's not that crazy of a take. I don't think it's like anybody would be that surprised.
No, he's on the edge right now. He's teetering.
And then my off the court doom is that Sadiq Bey faces setbacks and doesn't get playtime at all this year.
That would suck. I like Sadiq.
That would suck.
You kind of. I feel like you bailed out a little bit. You picked a guy not in the rotation and a guy injured. Got to pick a guy in the rotation.
Okay, so a doom for a guy in the rotation.
Not to spread negativity.
I think we're gonna have to trade for a new center because Marvin Bagley and Rashawn Holmes are too ass.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
It's not even that crazy of a take either. It's like I said, it's hard to have dooms for this team because every player can have a viable doom.
Yeah,
like every single one.
Every single one, yeah.
Because like you could say Alex Sarr doesn't figure anything out this year and he looks bad.
Exactly.
It's like that would suck. But I'm not putting that out there because I think Alex Sarr is going to have a great year.
Yeah, we can't put that out there. All right, do we have anything else on our little schedule? I don't think so.
No, I mean next week we're looking at a couple Hawks games. We'll go more into detail into like all the games next week. I think we have 4.
And the NBA landscape will start. The NBA landscape will start shaping up a little more with the teams that are good and the teams that don't look so hot. So.
Yeah. And we'll have more stuff to say about Wizards players because we'll actually see them play. I think I'm going to have a lot to say after tonight, for sure. Because, I mean, these are the games that matter. Like, preseason doesn't matter at all. Like, for the Wizards, it matters more because they're going to try to build habits because they're so bad. But now that we're in the regular season, like, this is where stuff really, really starts mattering.
And I will say I am excited for it. I thought last season was a very fun season to watch, and I have high hopes for this season in terms of watchability. They're going to lose a lot of games, but hopefully it's exciting.
My hot take is that this year is going to be even more watchable than last year because there's going to be a lot more development happening and a lot more to look out for with the young guys. Where last year it was like, oh, Denny looks great. Kispert looks good, but it's like, we kind of expected that. It's going to be fun to see like how Bub develops, how Keyshawn develops, how Sarr develops, how Koulibaly is done over the offseason and how he goes throughout the season. And the expectations are lower than ever. Like, if we don't win 15 games, I would not be that surprised. And then if we win, 20, I would also not be that surprised. I would be so happy if we won 20.
That'd be crazy. It's what's the over-under right now? Is it 15.5 or 14?
I think it's 15. 14.5, yeah, I think so. Lowest in the league, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had do you remember last year when it was 25?
Yeah, I should have hit the under. Although
yeah. I was telling all my betting friends, hit the under, hit the under, hit the under. They were like, are you sure? Poole might have a breakout year. And I was like, he's not doing that. Hit the under.
Even if he did have a breakout year, that wasn't helping him.
No. Oh my god. The Celtics spread for tonight is minus 13.5, and the over-under is 230.
It's gonna be a fast-paced game.
That's not even that high. That's an over. That's definitely a hammer that over.
It is interesting, like, the poor 3 rookies, they get to jump right into the fire. They get the best team in the NBA right away.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
We'll see how
I think it's going to be a good, like, if I was their coach at the end of the game, I'd tell them, well, look, I mean, that's what we're trying to get to. It can't get much worse than that.
Yeah, and look, we saw Jaden Daniels in the NFL rise to the task against the Ravens. I know they lost the game, but he looked pretty good.
Yeah, he did look pretty good.
Maybe one of the rookies here will do it.
If we get blown up by 50, but one rookie has a good game, I'm happy. I don't care.
Same.
Like, this season is not about the results of the game.
No, not at all. All right, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks for listening, as always. We'll be back next week with some recaps from the first 2 games, and then preview to, obviously, the 2 games against the Hawks, and then who do they play after the Hawks? Regardless, whoever they play after the Hawks. Do you have that?
Yeah, let me pull it up. Yeah, I have it pulled up. Miami... So it's the
winnable.
Hawks and Miami next week.
Hawks and Miami, okay.
Yeah,
the Hawks and Miami games next week.
One of those is winnable for sure.
One of those. With that said, Gafford, take us out, buddy.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy DG. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Nothing major. We hitting the wizard bed tonight, baby. Let's get it. Gafford out.